that's banned instead.
Is that better?
Well, I mean, this is Hanwha Life saying that we are going to answer your set first pick with a Renekton. As Damwon say, well, we'll just take the Renekton ourselves. So, the Renekton has been nerfed. Set, not a great matchup into the Renekton, but the Gwen makes her way through the draft this time. So we'll see whether Dudu does go towards it. Rumble's certainly the highest priority, as it will be the set locked in. So where the set is going to be the big question, because now set has a lot more value on the bottom side of the map due to the fact that Hex Flash is back again, things like this. We've already seen it. And I wouldn't mind it if Deft and Vista played themselves a Kalista set bottom lane or something like that, as Canyon hovering the Nidalee. This is, of course, for Malrung, who was a Nidalee aficionado himself.
And Nidalee would really fit with this Renekton. However, I think a lot of the other picks that really synergize well have been taken away. This is a lot more consistent. I quite like this. You could then go for the Karma or the Lulu, and still have a lot of flexibility. Right?
Yeah.
You're basically looking to, as you pointed out, put the Renekton into the same lane as the set, if that is possible. If he flexes to bot lane, then unfortunately not going to be able to get that situation going, but don't have to go for it. Can also pick up something like the Ezreal, which we know Showmaker really prefers. The Lulu, though, I think a lot more consistent, and it opens up a possible Kog'Maw, even though I think that even with a Lulu, that's a bit of a risk. But just the Lulu combined with the Xin Zhao is a combination that we've seen be very, very successful. And Hanwha Life is saying, well, the set into Renekton matchup, not the greatest. However, Gwen does not have a lot of issues with him, because Gwen, in terms of laning and just general power when it comes to 1v1s and skirmishes, is pretty insane.
Yep. I still don't... kind of would have liked the Kalista, because as we see, Damwon here, of course, take that one away.
And I think the Senna is kind of an interesting ban, because that implies that you are 100% going in on this being a lane Lulu, which it might be. I don't think Beryl in particular is the best on Enchanter supports. It's more of a carrier thing, right? Beryl's mostly known for his engage supports. There's also a reason why we saw Showmaker play the Karma just now.
Yep.
And still a lot of flexibility available here. Nautilus being bent away there is interesting as well, because I'm not 100% sure what direction they want to go in, because we might end up with another AD carry ban, and then maybe baiting out the Kai'Sa picker from Hanwha Life, but it will be the Thresh, which means Jinx.
Tom Kench could actually be locked in, but no, will be the Karma taken away. So they're going to have the Karma alongside the Rumble, deny Lulu Karma, which could have made the unkillable Crocodile Xin Zhao combo, which we don't mind.
I wonder how you round this out as Damwon, because the hyper carry always feels really, really good. This is an alternative path where obviously Lulu Ezreal, not necessarily the greatest.
Never been a huge fan.
No, me neither. But you can just pick a Leona here. Okay,
we're gonna go Ezreal Yuumi. The other way to stop Beryl from throwing his life away is by attaching him to Showmaker. That could be the option. As I just really want to see Caitlyn.
I was about to say the same thing, because you need to punish this. You can not let this go through unpunished, Deft and Vista. And I think the Caitlyn works.
Okay, Vayne. So Vayne is the isolated counter matchup into Ezreal. You understand why players do it. Whether it actually works in this composition is the big question mark, because this is going to be a toughie for Deft, a real toughie.
I am. this is a tough one, Atlas. I have a really, really hard time gauging the power of Damwon Kia's composition here, because it is one of those compositions where if it works, like you can just do nothing as Hanwha Life. Although we have seen what a Vayne can do in the late game, regardless of what the game state will be.
Yep.
And I think that a lot of the damage outside of the Vayne is just going to be completely irrelevant from the Hanwha Life draft if they fall behind. But do you get ahead with just Xin Zhao Renekton as basically your only power points? Ezreal Yuumi doesn't really get a whole lot done. You're going to get shoved in by the Karma lane. You have Lulu in the solo lane. Malrang gonna have to do some heavy carrying here.
Yeah, I think Khan is also going to have a bit on his plate as well, because of course this was the first pick Renekton. We are of the opinion that Renekton isn't necessarily that powerful right now. I think he's a great answer to Set, and Set is in this game, so there's that. But Set is in the mid lane, Renekton's top side, so they're not going to be able to really punish that as hard.
I think they swap. I think Khan is actually going to go mid, but they just let Khan play it because he's the better Renekton.
That's true. And in EU West, it was Canyon playing top lane all the way to Challenger, wasn't it?
Yeah,
1,500 points Challenger EU West as a top lane.
Yeah, I think top lane Lulu is also a bit more consistent. However, that's interesting. I actually would expect him to go to it, and of course, yeah, I don't know. I think I would have preferred that.
Ooh, this is a really cool under the sea vibe going on in the mid lane though. So I kind of think that Canyon should stay just for the skin synergy.
Okay.
Or the skinergy, as it were.
No, that was...
Not necessary? Too far? Overreach? Yep,
no.
Producer says no. That's on the teleprompter. So now if I look at the camera at the end of this game and just say no, you'll understand that I caught some Ron Burgundy. And I apologize, as Vista's not going to be able to hit Canyon there. So that's a whiff. Not starting off on the right. Like, this has already gone pear-shaped for Hanwha Esports. I do want to go into this composition. This is something that DRX debuted here in the LCK, but we have seen it elsewhere as well. The good old Xin Zhao and the Lulu. It's a bit of a tale as old as time. There's a lot of enchanters in this comp. They're building up an Ezreal, which is interesting, right? Because Ezreal does do a lot of work. However, he doesn't necessarily scale on the attack speed quite as much. This is an old favorite that we saw eons ago in, I believe, around 2016. Good old Bang & Wolf playing the Ezreal Lulu all the time, although it was Ezreal and then Lulu in the mid lane for Faker the majority of the time, but this was during things like the Ardent Sensor meta, which was a little bit gross. But still, the amount of safety that the Ezreal has and the amount of power and flexibility that you have with the wild growth is what makes it so strong, right? Because if you need to use it on the Xin Zhao when he engages, you can. If you need to use it on the Ezreal to keep him alive, you can. And a similar thing can be said for the Yuumi and all of her supportive abilities. Is Malrang going to walk over some vision? Get up here towards the top side, see whether he can get this gank to work onto Dudu.
He knows that Dudu knows. Like that path, you can see the pings go down, that pathing immediately shows you.
Yep.
And now Malrang in a bit of an awkward situation. I don't actually know.
Karma pretty good into Yuumi,
Ooh.
as it turns out.
He has to go back there, and it's understandable because I don't think he would hit level 3, but that was a red buff into topside path. So Malrang taking a huge risk there with his jungle pathing. So that ward from Dudu is so big because it means that the Xin Zhao has been doing nothing, and Xin Zhao not necessarily the greatest clearer. Rumble going to get an insane tempo advantage out of this as that was a big, like I said.
Yeah, red to top lane is like,
yeah.
That's the solo queue classic, you know? You duo with your top laner, you're like, haha, we're going to get this one started.
Well, it didn't not work, interestingly enough, because if we look at the state of the lane at the moment...
yeah, Dudu had to play very respectfully.
It's still pushing into Khan, right? And maybe Yohan wants to play a little bit... Oh my god, he's coming back? Malrang's doubling... Okay, he's not. I was like, is he really doubling down on this?
Oh, there's going to be a decent stun there onto Dudu, but Khan just doing his best to cope in this lane as Malrang's back again.
God, the tent!
Yeah, manages to get all the way around the Rumble as well as he goes into the circle, but it ain't going to help you, my friend. Wind becomes lightning indeed, as now Yohan looking for Malrang, but instead, he is going to find himself a Crocodile, the flash forward, the flash to answer. And Yohan is going to get the speed up. Malrang doesn't quite have the audacious charge back again, but it does not matter. That is 2 swift kills in this early game, and Malrang is rewarded for his highly aggressive, highly risky play.
Malrang seems to have gotten the message. Play for early game. In this case, it means go red. You know, clear some topside camps when your level 2 cheese gank doesn't work out and you have to path all the way through the enemy jungle just to get something done. And then just go topside again, as Canyon is... Chovy's not near dying. Has the... Oh, actually doesn't have the Haymaker available, so it was closer than he personally would have liked. But what this does is create some necessary pressure for Damwon Kia. And that's a really big one, because as pointed out, I think if you can buy some time for Canyon and Barrel to hit those first item spikes, then your mid-game skirmishes become disgustingly strong, right? And especially if you do have a moderately fat Crocodile, which... Dudu is, yes, this is a wave that's being stacked, so the deficit is not as bad as it might look initially, but still not great.
Yep.
And Malrang, thanks to that kill, has basically been able to catch up. He's still behind in the XP, and I think that's unfortunately going to remain the case.
Well, we're not setting up for a dive or anything right now, as Khan's going to slice his way out. But if I was Dudu, I would be pretty frightened about the situation. Sets up a few of these CS, but not going to be able to get all of them. Instead, he's just going to go back and going to lose that whole wave to the turret. Unless he does decide to stay. Let's have a look at this one more time as, yeah, Blast Cone really ruining things. Oh, actually, no. The ward just ran out. And Johan just out of position, I guess.
It's not even out of position. It's like that window by Malrang there. I don't even know if that's like... Because I don't think that vision of Johan. The fact that Johan goes in there...
Yeah, right.
I think he's suspecting or counting rather on the teleport from his top laner, but... You need to wait for that, right? You can't just assume that they won't respond. So that's a very unfortunate, turns an already very unfortunate situation to a worse one. But that was why Dudu felt safe, because it was such a narrow window. As 4 people is a little bit much, but we do see the missing pings going down. Malrang still level 4.
Yeah, Khan level 6 here as Dudu waiting for that one. Really wants to be able to get that that ultimate available. Start snipping things up for real. Must be pretty close to it, but after losing that wave, it really does make things very difficult on the EXP front.
He's so level 5. He's like, hey, Khan, come on, buddy. I helped you out. Help me out here. Let me soak some experience. And it worked.
Yeah, got it.
He's at level 5. He's still behind in farm, but I don't honestly mind it. As mentioned previously, I think with the Ludo and the Yuumi, you are going to be bonkers strong in mid-game anyway.
Yep, got a bit of aggression here as Dudu. Ooh, okay, trying to bait Khan in here as Johan just waiting patiently for his opportunity. Khan not really taking the bait right now.
Nice.
Okay, maybe not a crocodile, maybe he's a bluefin tuna. They're trying to reel him in. They're trying to reel him in right now. Very expensive.
Oh, he did.
Yeah, he's certainly... Johan's still waiting. Maybe he's waiting for level 6, I don't know.
Could be. Dominus is available.
Yeah, it is a dangerous situation. But still, a little bit of a waste of time. As Johan goes back, grabs himself some Sork shoes, loses out on that CS advantage that he did have as Chovy checking in on the CS. 18 in the lead as Malrang once again.
No!
His timings this game are just ludicrously, almost like accidentally. Not really what you want, as he's going to get knocked up. As Dudu's just going to get that needlework through, keeps himself alive, backs his way out. And Ignite was invested there, and Khan is just going to steal all of the crockery. Dudu's not even going to be able to set the table for one after this. As Khan just now going to farm behind the turret, and the Crocodile demonstrating why he is still such high priority. Because of the laning phase, he is still extraordinarily oppressive if he can get any sort of advantage.
He's still level 5. Malrang's level 5, and it always feels good when you're a color caster and you're like trying to set up what are the expectations for this match, right? Especially in the LCK, sometimes we expect action and there is none, and that makes us very, very sad.
Yeah.
But in this scenario, like, you need to play through topside, get that Renekton in the head. Well, Malrang has taken that very seriously. However, they are getting collapsed on, and there are more people available for Hanwha Life here.
Yeah.
But nope, never mind. That is,
Obviously, Malrang gonna come back. All of his camps are up outside of his red buff, by the way. Everything available. As that's the flash face breaker, as Deft might be grabbing himself a kill here as Canyon. Not a lot of options. He does, of course, have the ult, but Deft, he's got some auto attacks, and that is going to take down the Lulu, and that's a kill on the Vayne. And you're always going to be happy about that one, even if they have to give up a plate or two.
Yeah, it's a nice pick, and I really like the fadeaway equalizer from Johan there, who's not even close to any of the action, and that is...
I think he was still ganking top lane when that equalizer came down, as that's a flash forward from Vista. Okay, they'll answer with the ultimate. The Showmaker had to flash, so maybe you'll just call it worth. Because, of course, now that Deft has hit level 6, this is where, if you leave both of the AD carries bottom lane, the Vayne kills the just happens.
Okay. 먹은 서 봐.
Oh, he knows. He suspected it. That's insane. That's really cool. This is as straightforward as it gets. I feel like we've seen sets flash Phase Breaker so many times in mid lane this series, and it just always works. Yeah, the reason why the pick is so strong. Ironically enough, this set is kind of similar to the Renekton, like the ease of execution as...
Alright, trying to get those snips in. The needlework coming out as Dudu needs to get some autos in before he can use another one. The flash on forward is Khan. Dominus does nothing. Vista's here just to be a bit of a cheerleader, and Hanwha Life Esports might actually get some time with this turret. Try and grab a plate or two.
Not the best outcome. I think that if it's just two people, maybe Malrang can do something there. With the Karma also there, there's no follow-up play available whatsoever. Khan gonna get punished for the first time this game as dude is like, this is not fair. You keep having help. I'm gonna ask for some buddies of mine to show up, and it will be done. Johan and Vista helping their top laner out, and we do see a small gold lead for Johan here. Malrang clearly not playing for himself, playing for the rest of the map, and I'm glad you pointed that out, because what we saw there from Showmaker with that flash is also a recognition of the fact that while in a extended lane, you can definitely win against this Karma and Vayne duo. If they all in you, you are very, very dead. Or you need to blow everything and then you might still die. Because in a sheer 1v1 matchup, like the Vayne is just so much better than the Ezreal. Ezreal needs time, he needs poke, he's a lot more safety. And obviously the pick still provides a ton of value. Bait them in here.
Cleanse and Flash available for Deft, nothing available for Vista. So that's going to be their target. As Malrang moves on over, maybe he's just going to try and get this turret down. Try and make a bit of a tempo play here with the Herald. Is certainly a possibility as Khan's going to move back towards this top side. Still, plate's fallen down, and it's exactly what does happen. Malrang is just going to go for a Herald fadeaway. Head back towards the mid lane. He has cleared out his jungle as Chovy is underneath this one as Canyon just going to get ulted first, actually, as there's the equalizer. Wild Growth comes through, and Malrang just a little bit late, and Chovy's going to haymaker the Lulu to death.
Yeah, there's nothing you can do, and I'm starting to feel like, yes, Canyon mechanically is an insane player, but we're starting to see limitations of the awareness that just takes so long to learn. Like the feeling, am I getting ganked? Is the setup being looked for? 1v1!
Yeah, Dominus comes in here. Let's see how strong the needlework is. Maybe not strong enough as Khan will get taken down. Never you mind. Gwen is still really strong and is going to win the 1v1.
That's Gwen! I don't know about that one, Khan, especially just pre-Gore Drinker. Ignite available as well. Not a play you can really go for. Hopefully, I really hope they pick up the Drake here, or at the very least put down some pressure. Maybe pick up the first turtle block, because we're actually seeing more and more fighting back here from Hanwha Life. And while I said I think the scaling is great from Damwon Kia, it's also a composition that I don't think can really afford to fall behind. You do need to kind of maintain the lead that you're going to hopefully find within the next 10 to 15 minutes. Because
it's an awkward situation, isn't it, when you talk about the scaling? Because
it's so weird.
There are a lot of augmenting champions, right? And when you've got enchanters like this, you like to think that the late game's really strong. However, they're augmenting some earlier game champions. And while that's good, it doesn't necessarily give that the critical mass or the maximum that much weight. As this was just Canyon dying in the mid lane. And let's have a look at this one again. Chronicler?
이거 진짜 어디야?
Like, oh, Shin's out there, which makes sense.
잡았다.
Because why would Khan go for this?
Yeah.
You are Gwen.
보내버렸어.
I mean, I was confused casting the moment, right? Because I'm like, I always assume that the players are smarter than I am. And I'm like, looking at that, I'm like, but Gwen wins, right?
Oh, no!
That needs to be a GIF. Maybe that's the new one. That's the new meme. Because, oh, that's just beautiful.
Oh, no.
Okay, if that's not our play of the day, I don't know what is.
Yeah.
It has to be that reaction. Get on it. Oh my god,
so
that is
good.
just so good. So good.
Oh my god. Because it must have been how Khan felt as well, knowing like,
Yeah, right?
I'm all in Gwen, it's going great. Wait, what are these needles? What is she doing?
Some release date difference right there.
We say as Renekton has been,
Yeah,
like,
been
one of the most
perma-nerfed forever.
universally banned and like
Yeah.
hated oppressive champions for so long as, ooh, Johan. They know someone's there.
Yep, Malrang lying in wait. Oh, Johan getting closed in on. Chovy's here though, as Malrang gives his position away. Scrap Shield comes on out, Blast Cone. It's a mano-a-mano fight. I don't know whether it's one that Johan wants to take, and it absolutely is not. Canyon, in fact, is the one that grabs that kill as Malrang. He ain't done yet, finds Vista, immediate. Flash comes out as Khan should be able to help grab this kill, and that's a second one for the Xin Zhao. And this is what this comp can do, is Deft has to flash to get himself out of there, as Canyon flashes on over as well. Final hour comes in, and there's the final chapter as well. A lot of finality here, as Malrung is going to prove it, as Showmaker picks up the kill. Chovy gave up on the whole situation. He's looking to try and take down the mid lane outer turret. Hell in a handbasket is, I think, the direction of this game if you're looking at it from Hanwha Live Esports perspective.
Exactly what Damwon Kia want to do. This is, you've hit the spikes, right? You have your level 6 available, your Lulu and your Yuumi have some levels on them. Let's roam around the map, let's play around this fat crocodile. And Malrung, I'm just so happy to see even the LCK is now embracing fighting over farming.
Yep.
And that is something that has taken us a long time. As, Khan taking it a little bit too enthusiastically, maybe.
Yeah, he's going to get his face broken and his show stopped, and then just going to slice and or dice away. Chovy runs pretty quickly, especially with that Inspire. As Malrung throws out the wind, becomes lightning, and that is going to be enough to deter Chovy. So it is going to be the flash out for Khan. Him not dying there is actually huge.
Even with the extra movement speed from the Qs, can't get on top of them, as here we see why the Xin Lulu is so incredibly annoying to play into, right? Because Xin, his mobility is very comparable to something overly seen ever since his mini rework, where like he can just hop over walls, he can really easily blow people up, especially with the more recent builds where he goes Conquerors.
Okay, this is just, there are a lot of stuff happening in this game. As Canyon's really dead again. That's his third one so far. How much it matters, though, is the thing that I'm really trying to grasp here.
Well, not really, but that's bad.
Yeah, it's negative, but is it the worst?
No, no. It's been a weird and wonderful night of LCK.
It has. It certainly has.
When it's KT that's your consistent, strong team, and two of your perceived like best teams of.
I don't think you're allowed to call KT consistent. I think that's actually
that's
too much.
That's the trap.
That's a step
but
too
I mean,
far.
for tonight, just for tonight's game.
Right. Tonight they were consistent.
Tonight. I don't mean in the grand scheme of things.
Good.
I mean just tonight.
Yeah.
And
that's mainly for the benefit of KT fans. As he's just dead. Showmaker's going to be able to grab that kill. Does he have a red buff? Is that what did it?
It was the Yuumi Ignite.
Oh, right.
Sorry, the Showmaker Ignite.
Showmaker's the one that has Ignite. Okay.
Yeah, because he's Yuumi, right?
Yeah,
so he can get away with it.
That shows me for not checking out the summoner spells.
Oh, I'm slowly losing my mind, Atlas. These games they're insane, they're fun, but there's so much happening.
Yep, and it's not all sensical.
But it's better than nothing happening.
Oh, precisely. Give me this any day of the week. I love it.
Teams are doing stuff, and we can joke about it all we want, but I do actually think that in the current meta, playing proactively, making plays on the map, actively looking for kills and forcing your opponent to respond to you is a way more consistent style of playing, and it's something that our top teams are going to have to move towards. Should they do it cleanly? Yes, we would really like that. Wow.
믿어.
Showmaker's like...
Yeah, I like the hunt.
땄다. 나이스! 허수, 뭐야 이거?
Osu. Absolutely fantastic. Certainly praising Showmaker for being a god of the bottom lane now, I guess. What a weird time we live in. Trophy going to find himself an outer turret here to have some fun with, and does have a fair bit of vision, so might actually be able to put a decent dent into it as Showmaker and Beryl going to turn up, help their Crocodile out. The Menagerie continuing to move on forward. A jellyfish, a crocodile, and a cat. The perfect trio of animals. Am I right?
Very specific.
Yeah, I mean that's what it is.
It's very, very specific, like 3 animals. I'm not quite sure where you reach the conclusion that that's the best like trio of animals.
I mean, I can see 3 animals that are on the map right now.
Yeah.
And so obvious. And Damwon Kia found an extraordinary passage of play recently, and it must be to do with the species that they've employed on the Rift.
Solid argumentation.
Yeah, there we go.
Can't see any faults
I call it the epitome of results-based analysis. And as a play-by-play, I'm allowed to do
it. No one can hold you accountable for that.
I mean, they can.
But they should.
But I'm going to ignore it.
Okay. Well, it's low Drake count, which I think is good for Hanwha Life. I think regardless of the overall game state, this is still the type of comp where Hanwha Life can just pray that they get to late game and the death gets to like 3-4 items, and then maybe you find a showstopper into an equalizer. The problem is that with like how the game is right now, that combo doesn't even do that much, I don't think, because you have Lulu and Yuumi, right?
Yeah, right.
And of course, those are going to scale incredibly well. The only reason why I am very hesitant to call this game over is because I have seen a Vayne, then was Prince, win games that he shouldn't have. And this comp from Damwon is a little bit on the binary side. Like, you go in and you either like completely stomp the fight, right? You get on top of your targets, you blow them up in your knock-up, stun, wild growth combination, or it might be kind of hard, although I guess with Showmaker as fat as he is and Yuumi on top of him, he can probably at some point like single-handedly carry the game once he finishes his Frozen Heart. So what do I know? It's just I'm after tonight, I don't know.
It is hard to predict what's going to happen. However, maybe in order to save your sanity, just focus on what should happen, and then we can explain why it happened.
I'm glad you offered me a way out of the madness.
I got you. What am I here for if not to make you feel better?
Oh, thank you. I really appreciate that.
You're welcome.
What you do here as Damwon is exactly this. You don't have to really go in.
Well, speaking of going in, Chovy's going to try it. Haymaker does basically nothing, and then Yuumi kills him. Okay. Yep. Johan a little bit late on that one as Khan finds yet another stun. The Condemn against the wall is going to save Dudu for the moment. Damwon will take this turret as well. Bit of a whoopsie.
That's exactly what you do, though. You wait at the engage, then you polymorph, you marking shift back, and you play the kite back, right? You can go aggressively if you want to, but with the current state of the game, you can just play for objectives, play for pressure. You don't really need to overforce anything.
Well, big old flash in from Malrong. They're looking for Johan. Will be able to pick that one up quite comfortably as Dudu puts down the circle, but everyone's partying inside it. It's absolutely not what you want. However, still able to make it to the relative safety of the turret, and Damwon will back away for now.
Disco has been halted. Dudu doesn't want anyone else to dance with him, immediately tries to get out of that, is able to do so, but these item spikes for Hanwha Live are nowhere near. A 5k gold lead is near insurmountable as Malrang.
Yep, he's going to go in onto Dudu once again. However, I mean, Dudu keeps himself alive for a decent amount of time, goes golden as well as Chovy's here, and he's just going to boost his way out. Vista's going to flash as well to try and escape. Will have the blast cone to get to safety. That is another time, you know, Dudu just overstepping a little bit. HLE Esports not wanting to fully commit to the defense.
And Damwon are playing to their composition. I don't think they need to play aggressive, but I'm still happy to see them do it, but do it well.
Yeah.
Right? Like, measured, consistent aggression is what used to be one of the trademarks of Damwon. Going in when you know you need to. It's a much better look than the passivity we've seen of a lot of LCK teams recently.
Oh, Malrong's just going to go in one more time. Showstopper comes through, though, as the equalizer's trying to get Showmaker out of there. Chovy survives for quite some time, but oh my goodness, Johan is so squishy. True Shot Barrage is going to come through and just take down the Rumble in the fog of war, and now Dev, I wonder whether the heroics are going to be enough, and I think I know the answer, as he's trying to get the kill off onto Khan, but instead, he's going to die to Showmaker as he tries to tumble around, do something fancy, some Vayne action, but it's just not going to work. And Damwon are just going to grab themselves the Baron. Dudu hangs out in the mid lane, isn't able to really do anything as we go all the way back in time to watch Chovy go for this play.
The rest of the team is also not really in position. I think you can maybe try and make your way through that if you have an immediate equalizer while they're all standing on top of it. But as pointed out, this composition when ahead just feels so impossible to play into. As we can see here, like Death hides back really, really nicely. The final chapter doesn't even really do that much. The equalizer gets a lot of damage done, but it doesn't really matter, right? Because everyone gets kept alive. The sustain is insane, and everyone is so fat that it doesn't really matter as long as you get on top of them.
This Xin Zhao from Malrong is the most Malrong experience that we've had, but in the best possible way. We often see this happen as we're going to get another reaction.
It's payoff.
She's been great. I'm just so glad that we have the audience back, because otherwise we just never get this, right? We never get these cool reactions. The first one was definitely the trump card. However, going back and giving her another chance in the sun Absolutely understandable.
That one is going to go into the save photo for Worlds when you think the LCK is going to win and then they lose. And then it's like, have that tweet at the ready as Showmaker. He's not afraid of anyone, and why should he be? He has Yuumi and Lulu.
He has the most support. He's got like a portable hospital with him. He's never going to be in any trouble at all.
Nothing you can do.
Yep. And this is just once again, Damwon Kia understanding exactly the way their composition works. And this is not necessarily something that we've discussed after the role swaps, right? Is how Damwon Kia generally know their win conditions better than most other teams here in the LCK. And oh my god,
what?
Yuumi damage is filthy. Def's got half health.
Yeah.
That's a bit silly, isn't it? I haven't actually checked in on the Yuumi items recently, but maybe I need to.
I think it's Ludens into something else. But it's not fun for their opponents. 3 inhibitors down, and Hanwha Life, they started off the night so well, Atlas.
Yeah. It's not really working. These torpedoes that this kitty cat is throwing out are so dangerous as Khan fishing for an engage. You can do it all day. This Baron buff still lasting another 45 seconds. We've got Jonah Strong zooming in on this damage. 8 stacks. The proud projectiles, so scary.
This was the answer to the barrel not having the greatest forms at the moment problem all along. Just put him in Yuumi.
Yeah,
you're good.
It's like, positioning's my problem, Showmaker. Can you help me? He's like, yes, hop in my backpack. And as you can see, it's working.
And you see, yeah, because we say it jokingly, but then this happens. And I'm really glad you pointed out, because we've been having a lot of fun with this game, which I think is understandable because it's been such an up and down series, and this composition for Damwon Kia could go, I think, very much one or two ways. Either you snowball and it feels like this, or you fall behind and you have no damage and you just kind of lose, right? So seeing it work in all its glory is really, really nice. But it also brings us back to something that has been missing for Damwon Kia for such a long time, and that is identifying the win conditions as...
All right, yeah, Chovy's going for it. That's a great stopwatch from Showmaker, though. Buys so much time. Showstopper has to be used onto Malrong. It's a suboptimal target, and Chovy may just be taken down here as Dudu gets exhausted. Vista trying to escape as well. Chovy's going to be alive, but he's blast coned to the other side of the map as Dudu's fighting all the way over there as well. Def just left on his lonesome, trying to fight against Canyon, who will take another turret shot, but he'll survive for the moment. Actually, eventually does go down as Chovy fighting Malrong. But in the meantime, the Nexus turrets are falling, and Damwon Kia will fight back against Hanwha Life Esports. Felt a little bit too good to be true after game number 1. Hanwha Life did play a good one, but Damwon Kia remind them who they are and follow up with 2 swift ones to end the night.